I'm extremely concerned about this. If anything, for cautionary reasons, I believe, Your Honor, that you definitely should take a look at everything I'm saying here in these case laws and
what's the request though that you're making based upon the case law that you cite? I heard in there mistrial, but I want to make sure I understand your request for relief and what it is.
You say request for
relief.
Relief.
What are you asking me to do based upon the information that the limited information we have about the Reddit post and this trial?
I guess my request would be, because of the concern of this, to look at a mistrial, or at the very least a discharge of the jury at this time, so this can be resolved. This is alarming, to say the least. This post, and I don't know what Reddit is, to be honest. I've never heard of it or used it, so I don't know the extent of. It's almost like this could be like a snowball type of thing. It can start with something that's this small, and then it can snowball out of control into something totally different. I don't know the extent of this website. I don't know who. Well, I think the name of the person who sent the who alerted the clerk, of course, to this post. I think his name is in the email. But then that even begs the question of, how did this person come across this site? What is their significance to this? What is their role in this? It's just so many questions, and I mean, clearly this points at the court's integrity. It points at your integrity, Your Honor. It's alarming. It's very alarming. And if there's a chance that there can be hidden bias in this jury, it needs to be addressed now rather than later. This is very concerning.
Well, thank you for bringing up your concerns. Let me turn to the state if they want to respond, and then see what other issues they want to cover this morning.
Judge, the original post was on a subreddit thread called Justice for Darrell. That's the copy that the defendant has in front of him. That post was edited last night, claiming that it was a prank from the start, and that the original poster didn't think it would get that far out of hand. The way that Reddit works, the only person who can modify the content of the original post is the original poster, and because the jurors have no access to any electronic devices, I think it's safe to say that our 12 jurors back there are not the original poster. So I think that puts that issue pretty much to bed. It's still obviously under investigation because the court takes it so seriously, but there really is no actionable or any real reason why we should doubt the jury's being unbiased in this case.
I object to that on the grounds, Your Honor, that, like you just stated, it's an investigation going on. And if there's an investigation, then that clearly says that something is amiss. We have 15. We have 15 jurors. There's still too many questions that we don't know. Too many. I don't think anything's put to bed because we don't know. It's unfair to say that the issue is put to bed when there's still so many questions left out there. I'm sure you reviewed it yourself, Your Honor. You see the language in this, whatever this thread. I don't know. I don't know what this is. It's clearly a post from somebody who has intimate knowledge of the trial and what's going on in the trial. I don't think. I mean, common sense would tell you that this is someone who's very close to the case, whether they were intending to be funny, whether they were intending to try to prank the court or anything like that. We don't know. That could be anybody's guess. The language in this, the way that it's formatted, they lay out 4 specific points of what they think. They point to certain language in the case. They make references to saying when we were in the room. They got certain feelings from where they specifically refer to themselves and a group. That would be we, plural. They say, and I have to admit, I am biased against the defendant for the horrible acts he did. And they attack you, Your Honor. They clearly attack you. This is if this is someone's idea of fun, is anybody's guess, but I don't believe that it is, clearly by the way it's formatted and by the language that is in it. This is clearly someone with intimate knowledge of the case and what's going on. Clearly. There's no other way to interpret this. You can tell by what they're laying out in the language that they're speaking with, that this is clearly someone close to the case. And because of that, it still has to be, I'm informed of the investigation, but there's still too many questions left in the air just from this. How can we say anything's put to bed when there's still an investigation? For all we know, what if this turns up that it was someone on the jury, or what if it turns out that more people are involved in it than just whoever this anonymous person was who left the post? It's too many questions and it's too concerning. What if something like this springs up again at the last minute? We've been going through the trial now for basically 3 weeks, the better part of 3 weeks. And even in court dates leading up to the trial, we've never had anything like this happen. Nothing like this has been brought to your attention. Nothing like this has been brought before the court's attention. This just came out of the blue, and now all of a sudden it's being labeled a prank. Is that because they were found out? I mean, it begs so many questions. It's too uncertain. It's too concerning, and it's too alarming. It's too alarming to just overlook and say, "Oh well, we'll just set it to the side and let them." No, this there has to be some type of alternatives, and something has to be done. Something, and if that's a mistrial, if that's discharging a jury, if that's some other type of alternatives that can be looked at, I'm sure that these case law speaks to other options that could come into play. They deserve to at least be looked at, if anything, to protect the integrity of the trial. I find it very hard to believe that this close to the trial being over, and now all of a sudden these issues are being raised. So this is obviously not a prank, and it's obvious that this is someone with intimate knowledge. It's very clear to me.
Well, let me address your concerns, sir.